Tom, a fantastic ride. You had a huge gap. You dropped the Colombian. When did you think you're going to be able to make it?
At the top, with 2 minutes and something, I thought, yeah, I think I can make it. But then the descent was a lot of headwind, and that's nasty, it being 61 kilos. I was going nowhere, and those guys behind could chase for sure. They're a little bit heavier than me, and then I had 50 seconds. So I was like, well, maybe I can make it. And then I got to that steep little kicker, and then I had 20 seconds with 4K to go or 3K to go, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to dig deep. Because before I was like, I got this. And then I'm like, damn it, I'm going to have to dig so deep. And I dug deep, and that was pretty crazy coming. I mean, it's been a long time since I won a race. So to do it like that, I mean, that was balls, and that was crazy. And that's not how I've ever won a race before. And I really got to thank my wife, because I sent her a message in the morning, and I said, what do you think? Go long or try to drop him on the last climb? And she's like, Tom, you're one of the strongest guys out there. Just go from the beginning, show them what you can do, and do it. And I gotta thank my wife. She's the one that told me to do that. So
you should have heard the crowd. They were going crazy here. You're definitely a fan favorite. But what does this mean? What does this win mean for you?
Oh, it's so emotional. I mean, I mean, when I crossed the line, I was almost emotionless because there were so many things going through my brain. I didn't even do a finish line salute. I was like, holy shit! I just won a race. A big one.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a pretty badass way to win it. So I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And I mean, I've been working so hard, and the Tour de France this year was really crappy, and but throw all that out, it's awesome, and this is why we do cycling. I love cycling, and it was so cool to win in Colorado, win like that, win for the fans, for my team, for my family. That's pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Chris, an unbelievable finish to that stage. Did you guys think you're going to be able to bring him back? And how dangerous was Tommy D at the top of that last climb on that descent?
Oh, Tommy D was epic. I mean, hats off to him. BMC was epic. I mean, they did a great job. I thought from the first climb that they were going to be in big trouble today, but they pulled it out, and they had some great help. I think it was Mathis or something like that there at the finish, pulling, of course, with TJ, and they did a good job. We did everything we could. We had 4, 5, maybe 6 of us in the final group. We were just hoping that we get a part where we can attack or something. Certainly we were trying to either win the stage or jump away or something like that, but we weren't in there to do any help for GC. So, but it was epic ride.
Saw that you were the gatekeeper. You had 4 guys in that group. Why was the decision to not participate at all, to be able to bring that back to maybe go for the stage win?
Well, we don't have a sprinter. I mean, you saw at the finish there, we didn't win the sprint for second, so I don't think we're going to win it for first. But if we can jump away, if BMC catches, if all the other guys that want to help BMC to try to keep the leader's jersey, if they want to jump in there and help and pull Tommy D back, and if that happens, we'll jump away and then try to race that way. But we're underpowered here. We're not matching up with TJ and the other guys. So if we want to win, we got to play tactics. It's that simple. We can't burn matches by putting guys on the front and just bring the leader's jersey into the finish and hand the leader's jersey right back to TJ every day. We're here to win, period. We don't have the best rider here, so we're going to have to do it tactically however we can.
Do you think it's a sign, though, today that TJ being isolated with none of his teammates around is an indication that you guys have a better chance to be able to take him out of that top spot?
That's the plan. That's all we can do is just keep wearing down the BMC guys, keep wearing them down. You got to remember, we got 5 guys or 4 guys within 30 seconds or something. So we can just keep wearing them down and then just tactically get in the right jump at the finish, and you gain 40 seconds, you're in the leader's jersey. So it doesn't make sense for us to drive on the front just to hand the jersey back to TJ.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Christian, a fantastic ride to get yourself into yellow jersey. Were you aware of the rule of the placings at the finish?
Yeah, I'm always aware of that. I've been pro 15 years.
No.
Today, coming into it, I was not.
Mean, today specifically, like if you crossed in front of TJ, that you were going to take the jersey.
I didn't think of it at all. It was like the last thing in my mind. The only thing I was thinking about was Tom on the front and trying to slow those guys down any way possible. But no, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah. Can you believe a fantastic ride? You guys have been aggressive all week. Some have been questioning that, but today a huge payout, a fantastic ride by Tom.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we put 2 guys off the front at the beginning, especially with Zabriskie, even third day in a row in the breakaway. And then we just started the chaos early on Cottonwood, and I think that took a lot of people by surprise. We put Lachlan, the 20-year-old, off the front right away, and then I actually went. because I knew that it would cause quite the reaction. And then after I was brought in, Pete went, and then I said, Tom, just go. And that was it. I never saw him again.
BMC, they've been looking to them to be doing a lot of the work. Now you guys have the yellow jersey. What do you think tomorrow will play out like?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard. We go straight up Independence, I believe, tomorrow, and then finish in Beaver Creek. So it's going to be another hard day. I mean, this race has been rough. I mean, we averaged 42K an hour somehow again today. I mean, that's insane considering the terrain we went over. But it really is a symbol. I mean, TJ and I still more or less are sharing this jersey at this point in time, just like I more or less had it today too. So. It's gonna be more of the same. I mean, we got a deep team and we got a motivated team. I mean, I'm sure we have a pretty tired team, but at the same time, BMC had to do a lot of work. Everyone had to do a lot of work today.
Congratulations, Mike. The Queen stage, huge climbs, not exactly your type of stage, but you managed to get yourself in the break. Take me through that a little bit.
Well, I've been training really hard for like the past 2 months, really focusing on my diet after racing in the U.S. races, and climbing is all about just being fit, really, and just staying relaxed. And I knew today would be a suicide move, but we weren't represented yesterday, and we were pretty motivated to be represented today. And it turned out it was actually a pretty good day to be in the breakaway with the dirt roads and the long climb up Cottonwood Pass. And man, I was just suffering. I've past 3 days I've been suffering, and I've been climbing okay, and it's been kind of motivating actually. So. Yeah, I just keep pushing and just don't say quit, You
just came across the line here, just kind of draped across your handlebars. How hard was the day for you?
Today was a long day. Emphasis on long. I'm pretty properly blown. I can barely speak, and it's hard to stand actually. So I'm tired, really tired.
Tell me on the descent. It seemed like you bridged up to a group on the descent. How kind of crazy, and how much to the limit do you take it when you're going down those downhills?
I ride a lot of motocross in the fall, and I've learned how to really descend fast. I've played catch up a lot of times on many descents, and on this particular descent, I wasn't that far off the back of a pretty elite group there over that Cottonwood Pass, and I just figured if I can latch back on the descent, it's just more mileage that's basically free for me, and I didn't take too many risks going down, but I was just trying to hit 60 miles an hour and hold that tuck and then just go.
Piece of cake, right? 60 miles an hour?
Once you get up to speed, just hit the tuck button and just go. But for me, I can just go downhill. I have the weight downhill, so you just get in that aero tuck and just roll.
Hi, welcome to Race Radio from Stage 3 of the USA Pro Challenge here on Bicycling.com. I'm Joe Lindsay. I'm here with Frankie Andreu, and Frankie, today's stage is definitely a nail biter. It really came down to the wire for Tommy D on that descent.
No, completely. I mean, every day it's been like a nail biter coming down to the final kilometers. And today for Tom Danielson, instead of the group getting caught, he managed to stay away. A fantastic ride. Everybody's been talking about like this new atmosphere, this new feeling that is surrounding Tom Danielson. He seems to be attacking, being
the whole
aggressive.
Team.
Yeah, they're just on the jazz to be able to try to win. This time it paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. Today you saw Dave Z pulling kind of up the valley toward Independence Pass. This is kind of the result of what might have happened on the first stage if he hadn't gotten sick and puked all over himself. He kept pulling today. Tommy went on, dropped his breakaway companion. Over the summit, you'd think 2 minutes over the summit would be good for a descent, but it was 30 kilometers long, so it really came down to it.
Now, you mentioned it was a headwind. What's surprising, though, is everybody sat around BMC. TJ ended up being isolated. This is a problem. There's something they're going to have to deal with. It is worrisome later on. But Danielson had almost 1:45. He was going to end up jumping ahead of everybody else, and nobody else did anything. They're all waiting for BMC to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
And in the end, the group of 30, there's like 6 Colombians in there, 5 Radio Shack guys, a bunch of 3 and 2s from other teams. Everybody's just waiting for BMC.
Everybody sat there while Matthias Frank sat on the front, and then TJ rolled through. Everybody sitting there. You could see when they got to the parts that were a little bit flatter, like the group would bunch up, and nobody would take the lead. And those spots actually was where Tom's lead was kind of staying static.
He's lucky Matthias Frank came back, because otherwise it was
all TJ.
TJ all by himself.
Right.
Then at the end, again, they didn't catch Danielson. A fantastic ride. Caruso second to be able to take the points jerseys. Now Caruso has the points jersey.
Over for
but
yeah.
TJ lost the yellow jersey, and at the beginning I was like, how the world did this happen? Because they all finished on the same time.
Yeah, they're all in a big group.
They're all in a big group, but you look, it's all in the tech guide, and what they do is they take the sum of the previous stages as a tiebreaker because they are on the same time. Each of them have 30 points. Who would have thought? So, if TJ would have just finished one place closer to Christian today, he would have kept the yellow, but Christian Vande Velde now has the yellow jersey. And I guarantee TJ and BMC are not happy about this.
Not happy at all. And the big question now is for tomorrow, for stage 4. You've got Garmin in the lead now. So they've been aggressive now for 3 days. What happens now? They have to defend the lead as well. So what do? Can they be aggressive? Are they going to send somebody in a break on Independence Pass? I would not be surprised to see somebody like Peter Stetina go on that move and have Garmin look at everybody else and say, hey, we're not chasing, we got a guy in the break.
That would take the pressure off him, and so everything's tomorrow. Still, BMC wants to win with TJ, so it's still going to fall on their shoulder. But we start off Independence Pass. I mean, right away,
Straight out of the gate.
Right away, the Columbian's going to attack. Big groups are going to go up the road. Very, very dangerous. Garmin's going to need all hands on deck to be able to keep things in check. Obviously, you can't use up everybody because Stetina's still a dangerous. Christian, Danielson, all these guys are still there, and BMC is going to be right there also.
One thing to watch is basically kind of what I would say a level of attrition. Today's average speed was almost 26 miles an hour, very fast. Stage 2 had 8,000 feet of climbing. Today had 9,500 feet of climbing. Tomorrow has 7,500 feet of climbing. These guys are just going like full gas all the time. So tomorrow, you've got this big climb out of the gate. You've got a 97-mile stage, another finishing climb, kind of a short, punchy one, a little bit like Crested Butte was. I think you're going to see a lot of attrition, and I think once we get to that climb in Beaver Creek, it's going to be really interesting to see who goes to the front and who really just doesn't have the legs to match that.
Yeah, and I think we'll see some time gaps at the end of Beaver Creek, which brings us back to yesterday. TJ and Christian didn't really finish next to each other. They gave them same time. They say maybe they're protesting, trying to make the time, but it's almost too little, too late. But if you would have got a time gap then from yesterday's finish, it would have made all the difference today, and TJ would have still had yellow.
Yeah, so these are the kind of the what ifs that happen in the race right now. You know,
It
what
shows
if BMC was still there?
every second counts.
Absolutely. So every second counts on race radio too.
Yeah, let's get to Beaver Creek.
That's right. This is Frankie Andreu. I'm Joe Lindsay. Thanks for joining us.
No, nobody did walk
That's
through.
impressive. Nobody walked
Very good.
through.
All right, cool.
The fact that you were like 2 feet away from us.
Beautiful Aspen.
Downtown Aspen.